The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming. Tonight is the November 28th workshop meeting for the town of Marlborough. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those men and women who sacrificed their lives for us to stand here today and serve our country, our state, and of course our town. Thank you. All right. So I just need a motion to move to approve the agenda for tonight.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the November 14th, 2022 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
So moved. I need authorization of payment of the bills of $224,749.55.
I'll make that motion to authorize the payments of bills of $224,000, etc.
And I need a
I'll
second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. My report for tonight, the workshop meeting, it's a quick update. So I'll give you a little update on Tomback, where we're at. Where we're at is on 30th, the trusses will be delivered. Installation should start on the 1st, which is the next day. As you can see, the cupola has been built, the one dormer has been built. Today they ripped the roof off, all the shingles, they're replacing plywood as needed. So they've been doing that. I think they've replaced about 18 boards so far. They're cisterning 2x6s on the overhangs. They'll be shingling soon. And then hopefully they'll enclose the whole roof by the beginning of next week. Then windows should start to be delivered. They've cut up the floor inside. They put in the pipe in that goes to the exterior underneath the walkway for the septic and the grease trap. Electrical supplies have been ordered. HVAC supplies have been ordered. So we're moving forward and everything seems to be going okay. Other than that, you see tonight before us we have our EMS contract for ambulance. All the feedback we got from all our first responders, fire departments, police departments, and the presentation we had last meeting and the board members, we're moving forward with giving the board the option to assign this contract with ambulance for a 24/7 ALS service. So a big decision on the board, so I appreciate you guys considering this and actually looking through it and listening and understanding what we need to do for our community. So thank you guys on that. Other than that, it's the end of the year, so I got to ask you guys I got a couple of questions I got to ask you. Our last meeting of the month would be on the 26th. Normally, if it's on the 26th or right around there, we cancel the last meeting of the month. But if you guys decide you want to change it, we could always reschedule it. So I just need to know if you want to not just have the 26th meeting. So
I think not having a 26 meeting, because
Okay.
I think 26 is being observed and also a lot of people.
yeah, I mean, we typically cancel it, but I need a motion by the board if that's what we want to do, that we will not have the meeting on the 26th.
I'll make that motion to cancel the December 26th meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye, so moved. And then I need one other thing. We have to, payroll's on the 6th of January, so we have to set the reorg prior to that, because we have to vote on the payroll or people don't get paid. So I have the 4th, which is a Wednesday, or the 5th, which is a Thursday. There's either day. I'd rather have it on the 4th so Tina could get everything ready. So if that's okay with you, on the 4th, on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, same time as normal, will that work?
It's fine, I come back from vacation on the 3rd.
January
so I'm good.
4th, you here?
I come back on the 3rd, so I'm good.
Well, you're good, Eddie, good. You good with that?
I'm good.
You good, you here?
January 4th, you're going to have
It's a reorg meeting, it's our reorg meeting. It's not a long meeting, it's just all the things we gotta do for the beginning of the year, authorizing the fee schedules,
Raises all.
how we, how we do everything for the year. And then part of it is actually, we have to actually approve our
7
payroll.
o'clock. 7 at night.
It'll be 7 o'clock. All right, so I need a motion to have the reorg on January 4th.
I make a motion to have the reorg meeting on January 4th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
I so moved. Okay, we'll schedule that up. And that's all I have for today. Next meeting, just so you know, next meeting I'll do, since it'll be our last meeting, I'll do a summary of the whole year. Probably play a little slideshow for us, but next meeting I'll have a much longer report, so don't kill me. But, all right.
I just won't show up.
So presentation, as you guys know, I think Supervisor Cerrone actually had talked to you guys about Raymond Santon, is that who's here? Who's from Quanta Leaf Labs, and possibly a new business in the town. And I think if you want to come up and just talk to us about what you're going to be doing and give us an idea how you're going to move forward.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to come speak with you. So I represent a company called Quantleaf Labs. We're specialized in standing up cannabis cultivation and manufacturing facilities. We're currently deployed in 3 states where cannabis is legal for medical cultivation and recreational cultivation. As you know, New York State is in the final processes of deploying their full licensure procedure. And we're in the property acquisition phase. We've identified a property in Marlborough, New York, in Ulster County, which is under your jurisdiction. And I just wanted to introduce myself to the board, talk about some of our plans going forward once licensure is more clear, and just make sure that we have the blessing of your board to proceed. And a lot of the communities that we work with, we want to make sure, just because cannabis is something that's legal in a jurisdiction, we like to make sure that the local community is on board with us proceeding. So right now, the application is in its final phase. It's subject to a 60-day review period currently. After that process is over, the licensure will be open. We're currently looking to acquire real estate in this region. And I was informed of this meeting a little late, so I don't have a formal presentation ready for you, but
That's
I
all right.
absolutely will have one ready for your next meeting. Some of our core values revolve around the social, economic, and environmental impact of our facilities. Our current facility in southern Missouri is a state-of-the-art facility. We've mitigated our environmental impact. And in my presentation, I'll share data with that. And we're also committed to our social impact. Empowering people in the community. We like to hire and promote local individuals within our company. And we like to work with boards like yours to make sure.
So how big is the facility going to be? Do you know yet?
Our plans for New York is 50,000 square feet. So we're looking at an 80-acre apple orchard in Marlborough. But of that 80 acres, we only look to uptake about 6 acres for our facility, and we'd like to preserve the local apple orchard.
So would you still have the apple orchard
Yeah,
being used? Okay.
absolutely. I'd like to keep it in use.
And it's going to be in greenhouses, I was told?
Yeah,
Or-
so our initial phase, our initial rollout will revolve around greenhouses. The greenhouses will occupy approximately 3 acres of land with the plan to build a fully indoor 50,000 square foot facility within the next 2 years.
Okay. And that's for drying purposes and packaging and...
Well, yeah, according to the state regulations, we're allowed a certain square footage dedicated toward flowering, which is growing the plants, and then
Right.
square footage is allocated toward processing, storage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know, we have someone in town that does this already.
Oh, I'm not aware.
I don't know if you're aware, but Miss Hepworth's Farms,
Okay.
they do this also. So the board's very familiar
Okay.
with the process. I actually took and Chief Kokoza took a tour of their facilities, and they're starting that process of building those
Yeah.
types of rooms in their old barns and things that they're
Understood.
doing. But the drying of the cannabis was kind of an interesting
Experience.
tour.
Yeah.
I didn't get the smell out of my clothes for about 2 days, but
Well-
it was all right.
I will tell you. So was this in a greenhouse that she was doing this?
She grows outside.
Got it.
But this was the drying facility we were at, and she was actually building more rooms for the drying facility, and then she was also, they're going to create, the extraction part of the facility.
For the manufacturing.
And some spots are, through, I guess, chemical process, some parts are through a cold freeze process.
Yeah.
There's different ways of doing it. And then she was showing us the packaging area and the different, they have like 50 different uses they're going to be using it for. And so
Correct.
it was a pretty informative, pretty cool tour,
Yeah.
except for the smell.
Well, when I do come back at your next meeting, you said January 4th, correct? I'll do a formal presentation, and I'll take you through some of the aspects of our Missouri facility. I think I'll be able to elucidate the fact that smell won't be a problem. With our facilities, we use air filtration and
Yeah.
various other measures to mitigate those sort of concerns. So there won't be a huge environmental impact in terms of air quality either.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing
You won't
right
smell
now.
it.
Because, I mean, for her benefit, they are putting some of those filtration systems in now.
Yep.
But, of course, they grow everything outside.
Yeah.
So, I personally, it's not too far from my house, so I actually smell it a lot.
Right.
And for that 6-week period, or whatever it might be that she was picking it. But, that'll be the complaints that we get from most people. Most people, and even I'm sure the board, we encourage business. We encourage this. We were one of the towns that allowed this in our community. With the restrictions that we could have put in, we didn't.
All right.
But I know in the last, over the last 3-4 months, I've gotten many calls
Right.
about the smell.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
So
I will-
anything you could do to help us with that?
Oh, I will absolutely do that.
That would be great.
So in our Missouri facility, it's a 70,000 square foot indoor facility, and one of the concerns with the town of Chaffee, Missouri, was the air quality.
Yeah.
So we did an advanced air quality study to sort of assuage those fears.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I'll provide data around that.
Okay.
for my
Yeah,
first
that's
meeting.
awesome. Yeah, because I mean, we have an agricultural farming community. We have a lot of people coming into our community during that time of the year.
Right.
And like when you smell that, it kind of puts some people off.
I completely understand.
Some people like it, some people don't.
I
So,
yeah, I think I can address those concerns of yours.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, does the board have any other questions at this point, or?
Basically, you're going to manufacture and package, and then you sell to the dispensaries that
Yes,
are in the area?
yeah, it's a very regulated environment. All we do is manufacturing, packaging on facility, no distribution,
Right.
none of that, no consumption. Our workflows are very tight, very regulated. We follow all state guidelines, and we only distribute to licensed authorized retailers in New York State.
Now, the workers that are there and the facility itself, is that you have security there and all?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Is there a certain way you
100%.
have to have it in New York? 'Cause I don't know
Yeah,
what the new rules
New
are.
York has very clear definitions on how those How facilities should be secured, but our regulations generally supersede state regulations.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my concern,
Yeah.
is the security, because you have a lot of people that...
Absolutely, and I'm so sorry I couldn't have a presentation ready for today,
That's
but
fine.
I absolutely will address
So
that.
you operate in 3 states, you said, right?
Currently, we're in 3. We've operated in 7 over the course of our existence.
So-
We are currently operational in 3 states.
So each state has their own license?
Their own licensure
Right,
procedure,
so-
their own
And
regulations.
you guys are already fully licensed to operate? in
100%. Like our most recent facility is in southern Missouri. They've approved cannabis for medical consumption. So we have a state-of-the-art medical facility, which exceeds the standards of recreational facilities. But they should have retail licensure.
I got a question for you.
Maybe it doesn't work. Can you...
On the property, how do you get taxed? Are you an ag and market where you're exempt from property and school tax, like the farmers are?
I'm not sure of the tax regulations in New York yet. We're still doing those investigations because I don't think that they've clarified that yet in the laws and regulations. I think that since it's still up for public comment, we have to wait that 60-day period to get like the clear guidance on that.
Well, right now, it is ag. It's ag because it's
No,
on
I'm just
agricultural
wondering.
land.
Yeah, I
So
don't know the
they're exempt
specific
from a
tax
lot.
codes, right? But I would imagine that it would follow
It's agricultural, because that's what could be up there anyway, so.
I mean, the way I look at it is, growing this is no different than growing corn or tomatoes.
I wouldn't think so either.
It's
That's why I'm
the same.
asking.
Correct me if I'm wrong out there. I see he's waving his hand back there.
My understanding is there's actually a specific tax that would be applied toward the sales.
Okay.
That is specifically to the locality and then to the state. So there definitely is a carve out to the gram.
Oh, you're talking about like an excise tax? Like an
No, I'm
additional-
talking
He's
more
trying
like...
to see if there's a benefit
So
for
in
the
other words,
town
right
in
now,
the
you got
tax way.
80 acres
Oh.
of apple. You get taxed totally different than what
Yeah.
a residential or commercial person would be taxed.
In other states we operate in, yes, there is a carve out for the taxation in that particular municipality.
Yeah, I mean, you would be in the agricultural district. It's the same as any other agricultural district.
Well, I was just asking because he said he has a facility that's going to be manufacturing and packaging
Correct.
for sale.
They package apples too, so it's
Yeah.
the same type.
Yeah, so we will not be licensed to do retail sales out of our facility.
That's where the
So there
tax-
won't be anyone coming into the facility looking to purchase. Our facility is specifically designated toward cultivation.
Right.
When I say manufacturing, I mean we do things like extractions, processing, packaging, and it's made ready for distribution through a retailer, like a retail partner, that we are not involved with. We're not allowed to be.
They're not allowed to
Yeah,
We're not
retail.
allowed to be
They could-
verticalized in that way.
You can do everything what he said. They could grow it, cultivate it, package it, do all that stuff. But then a retailer has to actually sell it. And then there's obviously a tax on that when they sell it from that perspective. But as far as how, from that question, they're looked at just as like a regular farmer, right? Because it is considered farming, as far as I know.
There's definitely double taxation issues on that.
Okay,
Supply chain.
that would be good.
That's why I asked.
The other question I had for you, and I talked to a couple of people after I got the call from Chris that are involved in the business, not in New York State yet, but they explained to me that the reason you do put it inside is because if you grow it outside, it loses some of its potency.
It does. It loses potency. It's harder to control.
Right.
There's lots of environmental factors that go into cultivating these things, as you know. Things like, we try to, and especially in an agricultural zone, pesticides that other farmers use on their crops, there's crossover. So we try to eliminate all types of contamination from our facilities, and that's why we choose to do it this way.
Okay.
So my other question was that, so you're going to use about 20 acres to do this cultivating and packaging, and the other 60 acres you said you're going to
I would like
remain...
to preserve that and have it as part of a fully functioning apple orchard.
Okay, so that you are going to do with your own forces, or you're going to outsource this? I mean, not that it
Well, what I
doesn't
would
matter,
like to,
but
what I would
just
like
out
to
of
do is to
curiosity.
keep the farmers' workflows installed. So whatever labor and however he runs it now, I'd like to sort of extend that forward. So I spoke with my realtor about not only acquiring the 80-acre apple orchard, but also acquiring his 30-acre facility with his processing facility as well. So, we're negotiating those terms now. So if I could acquire both and leave the apple orchard intact, and I'm passionate about leaving the apple orchard intact is because I'd like to preserve the integrity of your agricultural landscape. I'd like to keep the apple orchard there as a legacy thing. I think it's beneficial for the community. I think it's beneficial to keep the people employed there. And I don't want to come in and, quite frankly, mar the landscape. It's a beautiful apple orchard, and if we could preserve as much as possible, I'd like to.
That's good. It's a good deed. We'll support you.
You guys got any questions, Jerry? Anything?
No, as he goes through his processing here, I'll do all kinds of paperwork on it.
Absolutely.
Once the state approves it. I really don't have a lot of say in it, so just once the state approves it for whatever he's going to do,
Right.
he just has to file that with me, so we're aware.
Yep.
We'll be up for visits and
Sure.
look at security and all that stuff as his process moves on.
Yeah, I know that's a big thing. Security is a big thing. I know, when we walked with Ms. Hepworth, there was a big part of the discussion was the security end of it, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, and I'll articulate that more specifically in my presentation.
Yeah.
I'll do an entire section on that just so we
Okay.
can nail those points down. I had a question. In certain municipalities that we operate in, outside of the state licensure, there is a local approval procedure. Do you have anything like that installed?
mm-mm,
No? Okay.
no. Nope. Nothing on the books.
I would imagine if you're building a facility,
You just you got to go to the building department, just like a normal, anything
Yeah.
else.
No, I was talking specifically as it relates to cannabis. Some municipalities will have their own.
No, because when they
short
came down
application.
with, when we had the opportunity to deny or allow this to happen in the town, we didn't actually respond. So with a no response means we allowed
Understood.
retail and
Consumption.
consumption.
Right.
So that was our answer back to them. But as far as having locally have to pass it to
Right.
say you can do this or anything, no, because that was we basically did that when we didn't give an answer to the state, which was a direct answer to say, yes, we're allowing it. So,
Understood.
yeah. So you should be, the only thing you'd have to do is go to the building department and you go through the process of that.
Fantastic. Yeah.
They need to know what you're actually going to be building there. I mean, again, you're ag,
Right.
so there's a lot of different rules that don't apply to you that would apply to a normal builder because you're in ag.
Yeah.
And he can explain all that to you. But they do require you to at least go to him, fill out the permits, tell him, give him the plans, what you're actually going to have there. And a lot of that too is more for safety reasons from the fire districts.
Correct.
And so when we toured the facilities, we had both fire chiefs there too, touring with us, so they know if they actually ever have to come into the facility, they kind of know what spaces they're getting into, what they're getting into, what chemicals are in there,
Understood.
all those types of things. So it's more for a safety issue, but yeah.
I completely understand. Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in, Raymond.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time tonight.
Very nice. All right.
I look forward to seeing you in January.
Okay, we'll
Sounds
be
good.
here.
Oh, I won't?
No, yeah, that's the regular.
Oh, okay. So when is the January 9th?
Ninth.
The 9th is, the actual real meeting would be
Yeah.
January 9th.
That's just the reorg meeting. You want to go
So I'll
there.
make sure I'm on the calendar for that.
January 9th.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. All right. Awesome. All right, so we have one more person presenting tonight, and that's BJ McNicholson from Meet Me in Marlborough. You guys got the little packet I gave you, and I'm going to have BJ come up and explain what he wants to do. What Meet Me in Marlborough would like to do.
You know Waldo?
There he is. I found him.
Yeah, I'm here on behalf of Meet Me in Marlborough to talk about a clothing drop-off shed, as it's officially called.
Yep.
And there's a need for it. It seems like anywhere you put up a clothing drop-off shed, they fill up very quickly, which is good for retail. People throw out their stuff and buy new stuff. And the thought behind this is to have one shed put up in this town. On behalf of Meet Me in Marlborough, it would be having a big, you have the handout, right? Okay. It
I
would
just
have
want
a
to make
big
sure the
sign.
public knows what you're talking about. So this is a clothing drop shed, just so everybody knows what we're
Right.
talking about here.
It would be delivered and installed by the company. It would have a big sign on it, our
Danielle.
logo, Meet Me in Marlborough,
Danielle.
and it would be located, the thought is to have it located, as a matter of fact, right out here, as far away as we can get from this building in that corner. That's one thought. And
You're saying,
is-
let me stop you there. I know you talked to me about this, but you're saying here on this facility here?
yeah, and there's a pickup, I'm parked out here, and there's a little area here where it could be in the corner, as far away from this building as it could be. That's one place. I'm just,
Yeah, I'm just saying, because that's where the actual garbage is picked up. They might. The only thing I had, the more I thought about this, BJ, the only problem I have with it being here is because we have a lot of police activity going on. I don't know if that's a problem with the chief, people coming in and out of here like that. And I'd have to get the school permission too, that's another
Yeah, we
thing.
don't have the pro.
The problem I have with these types of things is it's never just clothes, and it turns out to be a disaster. Who's
right.
gonna be couches?
That is what I want to get into.
That's why I have BJ here, because that's exactly what I told him.
Here, I'm kind of okay with that. If you look at every clothing dispensary here in town, there's one at Kirby's, there's one down by the old Pops TV place, they're just disasters.
I know.
Just disasters.
Uh,
You know, those come with
Yeah.
responsibility and all that stuff, and it just becomes a nightmare. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be out there picking up clothes and throwing them in the dumpster.
And you won't be. Let me explain something to you. I'll give you the example. Rotary International up in Highland, we have 2 sheds put up in town. The membership are assigned, each member during the year are assigned to go to the shed at least once a week. There's a padlock on it, there's a code. You go in there and make sure that there are not too many dead bodies or whatever in there, and you push the thing up to one end so there's room for more bags to be put in. Should there be anything around this little shed, that is the responsible of the member that comes to the shed to clean up all the time. Granted, I'm down the road, we have other members right around here, so I don't foresee that as being a problem. I talked actually to Kirky about this, about his, and he goes, but that's his, he sort of asked for that problem. It's on his property and he's the only one that looks after it. So I understand exactly where you're coming from because it's been seen everywhere.
That type of method of taking care of it might resolve that. You're absolutely
Right. And this location, it's just one location I thought of, as opposed to having, let's say, all the way at the end of where all your vehicles are parked. It's more exposed, and this is more in a corner. There's a little bank of grass going up here in the corner. It could fit in there nicely, and it can still be seen from 9W. And of course, it's a fundraiser for Meet Me in Marlborough. As I was telling Scott earlier today, we have very little money. We barely raise any money during the year, and membership money is really what the money we have available. So this could conceivably give us, all depends of course, but it could be maybe up to $5,000 per year. And with the experience that we have in Highland with this company, the truck comes regularly, the checks are being written regularly, and we have absolutely no complaints. We're actually pretty impressed with this particular company. The lady that I'm speaking to, she's out in Massachusetts. She's more than willing to, she couldn't be here tonight, but she's more than willing to come here and talk to you about the details. But if you read this, the handout I gave you, There's a lot of information in there, and as I said, it's a little bit of also, of course, of a community service, if you will. Not that I want to make that a big issue, but it really is. So they don't have to go to neighboring towns or driving here and there. You can just go in here and drop it off. Being that it's in the proximity of the police station, I thought it was a positive thing, so that they don't come running with a big king-size mattress and drop it here. With the police around,
They
I
might.
sort of questioned people would do that.
No, I thought the same thing. I just want to make sure he's all right with it because,
And we
cars
take,
come in and out here quick, right? So,
I mean, we do take total responsibility for it. It's not like it's dumped here and we just walk away from it. We will assign members every week to be here. They will have the code to the padlock. And
do they pick them up by truck by hand, or how do they get the stuff out of here? Like, how they have to go in the shed?
they have like a garbage truck, similar. I actually never seen it, but that's what I'm told. And they just take the bags and throw it like.
Well, I mean, because like right out front we have that blacktop pad that does nothing.
Where exactly?
It's visible from the road and it's off the beaded path. It's not on the it's not on this road, right? So it doesn't take up any space.
Where exactly is the one in Highland, the two in Highland? Where are they located?
One is down at the. How should I explain it? It's you go through Highland 9W up to the gas station, and down to the right is a, what do you call it? VFW.
Okay. It's where Little League Field is down that way.
It's away from the street.
Yeah, it's behind the mobile
The
station.
other one is at the walkway,
Okay.
right at the parking lot, the original parking lot at the.
My biggest concern with down here, when I talked to Scott on the phone, was the exposure you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get down here the exposure you would get in the more people coming by. I mean, people from Milton are going to know about it, but I don't think you're going to get anybody from Marlborough.
We will, of course, on a monthly basis, all the newsletters and stuff that we send out, we'll bring it to the attention of all membership, and we'll get it into the newspaper as well, that this now exists.
Because I know the way people are. I mean, if they don't walk past it, they don't see it. And,
No, I know this is not like 1, 2, 3 and it's done. We have to think through it, and I think, being that I'm here having experience for 3 years with the two sheds up in Highland, where the way we are operating it and take responsibility for it, I don't see why it shouldn't work.
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just saying I would consider a more high-trafficked area, and I don't know where, but I mean something where cars are going by more than they go. If they're not coming down here to the town hall or to the hamlet down here, they're not coming down to Milton. They're not coming down the road. You're not going to get a lot of people from just not here. That's what I'm saying. Even if you advertise, I mean, it's still going to be, you want to be where people see it all the time, so they get used to it. That's all my concern.
Like you think like at a supermarket, for example.
Whatever, yeah, something like that, or a strip mall, you know.
I don't know. It's we can certainly think of other locations around the town. There are churches that are interested in having this.
Yeah.
They're private property.
Right.
Whatever paperwork is needed to get this done, the company in Massachusetts they take care of all the paperwork dealing with the town and so on. So it's not a fly-by-night operation.
No, I don't think it is.
How often will they come down?
Once a month.
So they come, what happens if, because I think it's a good thing, but I seen it also, the overflow of clothing, and all of a sudden you have bags on the outside of the shed, and again, and if there is furniture dropped off, you saying you will clean it?
Oh, I'm fully aware of what you're saying, but being that we are all aware of that
No, they
one
are
problem
nice.
that you're just
And you get a
pointing out,
receipt, like for your
and we
tax.
have already taken that into consideration, I think it'll work.
I'm gonna ask him.
Being that we are giving the responsibility to our members throughout the
Oh, yeah,
year.
right at Manny's place.
Yeah.
Perfect, Manny, right at your place.
Parking lot.
You got a nice parking
I
lot.
had it before,
I
and
thought you
I
did.
couldn't wait to get rid of it,
I know
because they were dropping so
They
much
drop
furniture.
everything up there, right?
They were-
Because nobody wants to pay to go up to the
I
landfill.
don't make any money, I just let them do it.
I know.
but it was just, they just got carried.
I mean, that's what I told BJ right off the bat. My major concern is these things always become this attraction to dumping off everything and anything but clothes, right?
All right.
They see it, so that's my only reservation about it. And now I have a question too, though. I see like on here, it says, there's a little spot on here that says receipt. Like, so you get a receipt for if you drop something off? Is that what it says
Is that
there?
for the driver maybe to pick the stuff up?
No, there's not a little guy sitting in there writing out receipts.
I know, but on your little box here, it says receipt. So how do you get a receipt?
Oh, I see. I never even seen that. I don't know.
Because a lot of people like to get this for tax write-offs, right?
Yeah. No.
So I'm curious, I see a little receipt thing, how does that work?
I will have an answer to that question.
Oh, see, I
I'll
got
talk
you
to
on
the
something.
lady tomorrow, so.
There's nothing in the park that we could do this?
Oh, boy, no, not a...
No, you don't want to put it inside the park because nobody will be able to.
You can't put it at the park, that'll really
I don't
be...
necessarily think that having it here is a bad idea, because it would probably thwart the idea of couches and stuff being dropped off.
Oh, I don't think they'll do it because it's at the police department. Like why I said that, I don't think that pad spot out there is a bad spot.
The only issue I see with that is how would you get to it?
I know, I was
You're
gonna...
find people driving through the grass to get to that pad. So unless you made a walkway or something to that box, but then it's in the middle of the front yard. I don't know. if
Well, you
one
see how
shed in the middle of the
these
front
are
yard.
nice, they're not like those other sheds.
I agree, and I think with the way.
So it doesn't look
he's
bad.
thinking- He's thinking about maintaining it, I don't think you're gonna see.
I mean, the other spot, which I was thinking might be actually good, is like the corner of that parking lot over there.
Where the fire sign is.
Like on the corner out there? Because it's in
Closer
the
to
parking
fire
lot.
station.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Our parking lot, on our parking lot, but just off the parking lot, right on the grass.
Yep.
And then, what is that?
Yeah, so they're not taking up the,
That
On,
may be a
on the
better
left
idea.
side from here.
Yeah.
so they're
Right.
not taking up the parking space, but
And then there's a
you
big
could park.
picnic to it,
You can go right to, yeah.
And that's certainly,
another camera.
that'll be out in the open. And we could also do this, which has been done. We can say on the shed itself that we have cameras watching you, even though,
We do have
There are
cameras.
cameras.
We got cameras.
That well,
We got cameras watching you right now.
okay. Well,
We
that
got cameras
certainly
everywhere
should,
now.
I mean, having the police here and cameras,
What do you
other
think,
than have
Dave?
armed guards around the shed, I don't think we could do better.
Me, it's gonna be a dumping ground.
I agree.
So BJ, so I was reading here, it says they pick up the container once a week, once every 2 weeks, but you just said once a month.
Well, whatever it is, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's regularly.
Okay, so say they're gonna come every 2 weeks and then all of a sudden it seems to be overflowing, you'll come more frequently.
Yes. they
Okay.
come on
And this
demand.
company,
We have
this
that.
company will monitor also. I don't have a problem with it as long as the company continues to monitor, but as soon as it gets out of control, we have to have the option to say, we don't want it.
Yeah, and for that matter, you know.
I don't see a problem. Like Jerry said, if it's here and
Not
there's,
signing a 10-year contract or anything.
yeah,
So,
because we have seen these things go the wrong way.
and
That's
I
what we're
wouldn't be
concerned
here-
about.
I would really not be here if I didn't have the experience
Yeah,
with
no.
them already.
We
If it
understand
was
that.
some fly-by-night operation that,
Yo, I
you
have
know,
experience
screw
with
you
that.
kind of.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question. We have to contact the school district?
Yes.
And let
Yeah.
them know and get their,
Well, yeah, I just wanna,
let
I
them buy
want
in?
BJ to come and talk to you. And if we think that's probably a spot where maybe, again, if it's at the town hall and it's at a police station, I would hope people don't start dropping all, everything, right? Because that would be a problem. But yeah, I'd have to ask them if they're okay with it also, because we share this facility. So I just gotta get their, if they're not okay with it, then we have to look at alternate locations.
And I would also say that we as Meet Me in Marlborough, it's not your problem, it's our problem, and we have to solve it, that problem, if there's something like that.
I mean, I know of another spot that would work, but
I mean,
they'd kill me if I say it. But the highway department, the garage in the corner would be a good spot, only because it's right on 9W. But I know John would
Okay,
go
good,
crazy, so
good.
I'm not even
That's
gonna
really-
recommend that
That's really
spot.
all part, too.
Well, I'm just saying, it has all the space and it's off of 9W. But, all right, so let me, I'll have a conversation with the school first, see where we go with that. if that's like seems to be our number one spot, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll let you know.
Oh, that spot is
Yeah.
owned by the school?
Everything
Part of
here.
the school? I see.
Everything.
Everything.
Oh, the whole area, yeah, I see.
So I'll talk to Michael tomorrow and see if he could ask his board and see what they say. And then if that doesn't work out, then we'll have to look somewhere else. But we'll look at that spot first, all right?
Yeah, but at least that, I'm very happy that it's at least a positive attitude, so to speak.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we will proceed accordingly.
All right, BJ, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to comments on the agenda. Anybody out there, anybody comments on the agenda? So we're going to go into new business. So we have our annual McGooey-Hauser contract, just like we did last meeting. McGooey-Hauser and Etzel, our engineer, I have our contract with them. It's our standard contract with all their rates. McGooey-Hauser Etzel is our engineer at this point for our planning board and our ZBA board. So I need a motion by the town board to be able to sign this contract. So unless you guys have any questions, I just need a motion.
I don't have any questions.
This is Bell you're talking about, right?
Nope, this is McGooey-Hauser and Etzel. This is Pat Hines,
That planning board?
planning board and
ZBA.
ZBA board.
Okay. All right, I'll make that motion to sign the agreement for 2023.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved, thank you. I'll get that to them. All right. So worktop, I've been having this, just an open discussion by the town board, so I'll give you guys an opportunity. You guys have anything you want to bring up, any new projects you want to start, or anything you want to talk about? We could talk about it now, or we could say we don't have anything to talk about, but I'd leave that up to the board. You guys have anything you want to bring up? Anything new?
I think we've been
We're at the end of the year. We've done a lot of things this year, so it's been a very positive year for the town, for this board, so I thank you guys for all that. So it's been really good year. All right, then I'll go right to my correspondence. I got just two things, I believe. So one is a positive and one is maybe a negative. So the first positive is I got this from the County of Ulster, Supervisor Corcoran. I'm pleased to inform you that after a careful review, the town application for the Ulster County Recovery and Resilience Municipal Sewer and Water Grant has been awarded in the amount of $500,000. A staff member from the Recovery Resilience ARPA Division will be in contact shortly to review the next step. Congratulations, and we look forward to working with the town to improve the sewer and water infrastructure. And that's from Nathan Litwin, Director of Recovery and Resilience. So we applied for this grant, and we did receive $500,000 from the county, which will go towards our upgrade, mainly at our Marlborough plant. In addition to, I'll give Mark a big heads up that we are just in the final stages of our contract with Dockside, and the reservation agreement at this point, they will be paying $609,000 towards the sewer plant upgrade. It's just a matter right now of how they're going to pay it, because just like Docks Bayside, they're not just paid $609,000, it's on a payment schedule. It's based on what they do, right? So at this point, I'm asking them that they give us about, I think it's $204,000 when we sign this agreement and they get through the code change, because of course they got to apply for a zoning change. I'm not code change, a zoning change, I'm sorry. They're in R and they got to go to, they're in industrial and they got to go to R. So they have to apply for that. If that all goes through, then they would pay the first payment. The second payment would be due after the planning board approval. And then the third payment would be as they build out the project. And it's similar to Bayside's agreement. But for us, in this agreement, it's about double the amount of money we're getting from Dockside than Bayside. So with the 609,000, with the 500,000, with the over 900,000 in our ARP money, and the 300,000 we're getting from Bayside, we have approximately $2.4 million that technically we should be getting in, and we're looking at the project should not be more than that to do those plants. So right now we're in really good shape to after 30 years to be able to upgrade our sewer plant, get much needed capacity, and we'll have more capacity to actually add in other businesses if they actually come into the hamlet, or other housing projects that come into the hamlet. So I think it's a good positive thing. So that's one. The second one is not so nice. The second one is to the Town of Marlborough Town Board. Gentlemen, I am writing this letter to inform you of my decision to resign my position of the Planning Board as of December 31st, 2022. I have enjoyed my time as a board member, and I hope I have been able to contribute in a positive way to the future and growth of the town. And this is sincerely Steve Clark. So Steve served on our planning board for many, many years as one of our farmer representations, and he's done a great job over the years, and he felt it was time that he, and his word says, the next generation to come in and start helping out. So having said that, we already had a advertisement out there for planning board members to apply, so whoever applies, now we have that position to fill as well. So thank you, Steve, for all your years of service. And that's all I got for correspondence. So public comments, any public comments? Mark.
I just had a quick question about the Dockside and Bayside. Without the improvements that are going to be done to the plant, would those two projects have taken it past what
Bayside,
they can handle?
yeah, I know what you're saying. Would they actually be able to do what they're doing?
Well, if there were no improvements, would those two projects push it beyond?
If we didn't do the improvements that we're doing, Dockside probably would not happen. Bayside, yes. Bayside, we already had enough capacity.
Right.
So they would be able to do what they're doing. We would have pushed our sewer plant to its limit. It would have pushed it to about 90%, right, which you really don't want to go over 90%. And we know we've had some days with some floods that even without them on board, we've gone over the capacity for our sewer plant just because of the flow of the water that comes in there. But Dockside, no, Dockside would not be able to build out what they're building unless we do this upgrade. So that was part of the push to get $609,000 towards the build out of this plant from them.
Is there also the Fed money that the special act?
Yeah, we have the ARP money, the ARPA money, that's $950,000. So we have ARPA money, we got Dockside money, we got Bayside money, we got Ulster County money now. So yeah, we're actually in a very good position right now. So the original estimate for the upgrades to the plant, and that's to get additional 50,000 gallon capacity over what we currently have, was about 2.1 million. So if I do the math right, we're actually over the 2.1 million. But as you know, estimates change because of inflation and everything else that's been going on. So we have a buffer in there now, which is good. So, and again, we only collect monies at certain times. So we're going to start bidding this project out next year. So there may be a spot where we actually have to borrow some money from for the district in order to build it out and then pay it back. Because again, we're getting paid in sequences. Right?
Now that county grant is different from the Fed money of that act?
So the county grant, actually, they're utilizing their AARP money that they got from the federal government. And they used it they have a couple different programs they're putting out there, but one of them was for water and sewer upgrades, which happened to just perfectly fit into what we were doing at the time. And they were looking for shovel-ready, ready-to-go projects, which we were. So it worked out. I had worked with Dennis Larios on this, and it worked out really well because we already had the plan all ready to go.
Right.
So it just had to be presented. There was, a lot of paperwork that we had to do in order to get it there, but I want to say 12, I can't remember the number, maybe 12 municipalities applied, and I believe they all received the grants because they had so much money to give out, and not as many people had these projects ready to go. So, yeah, they had a lot of money to give out. So,
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Mark. All right, so then we're going to get right into Resolution 90. And this is our accounting updates that we got to do at the end of the year. So as we do certain things through the year, we have to move things around in our budget, but it all at the end of the year has to equal out. So this is an accounting amendment. So Resolution 90 to approve 2022 budget amendments. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough approves the attached 2022 budget amendments. And these are the amendments. So I don't know if I'm going to read all these, but these are just all the different amendments. And they all, at the end, you could see they all equal out 324,409, 324,409. So it's just moving the monies around. Okay, and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Molinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Kauke?
Yes.
Councilman Zambito?
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you. All right, so resolution number 91 is to approve and sign EMS agreement. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas ambulance located at 453 Robinson Avenue, Newburgh, New York, provides emergency and non-emergency medical ground transportation service, including advanced life support and basic life support, and whereas the town of Marlborough desires to utilize ambulance as a provider of ground ambulance services for patients within the town boundaries, and whereas ambulance shall provide 24/7 emergency medical service and also provide standby service upon request within the town of Marlborough, and whereas ambulance shall provide the town one advanced life support ALS ambulance and crew staffed with New York State certified EMT and paramedic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, dedicated exclusively to the town of Marlborough. And whereas a subsidy for this service contracted for year one shall be $450,304. The town shall pay ambulance the sum of $350,000 for year one, which shall be paid in 12 monthly installments in the sum of $29,166.67. And whereas agreed by both parties, $100,304 will be broken into 48 monthly installments of $2,089.67 plus the subsidy agreed upon for each year starting in year two. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough hereby authorize the town supervisor to sign the agreement with ambulance. And just so everybody knows, so just to clarify, the contract price for their services is, and that's the subsidy price of $450,304. The agreement we have is because we already have passed our budget that we're only going to pay $350,000 for the first year. And that's the $29,166.67. The $100,304 number is the difference between those two, correct? So we have to make up that number, and they agreed to do that over a 48-month installment payment because we have a 5-year contract with them, okay? So that's where that other $100,000 comes into play. So everybody's clear on that, right?
Yep.
You got that? All right. And moves for its adoption.
Councilman Molinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Kauke?
Yes.
Councilman Zambito?
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran?
Yes. Okay, and this was the actual agreement, and I gave you this, Mark, so it's all the legal stuff that goes with it. But as you see, when you get to the bottom, so this is just a one thing. Schedule 1 actually tells you what the cost of these, what they charge for these services to insurances. And then the second one actually breaks down the payment schedule. And then some protections for us, where we could actually reduce our payment if they get more calls than anticipated, and that the last statement is that they cannot raise us more than 3% from year to year in a 5-year contract. All right? So, and I would like to say, you know, Mobile Life was a very good provider for the town of Marlborough for many, many years, and I want to say thank you to them for all their services they provided to our town, and working with our police and fire departments through the years in our school district. So it's just sometimes you go out and you look for competitive bids and see if you could get more service for your community members, and we did that. We did our due diligence. We talked to all the first responders, and all those first responders recommended us to make this move at this time. So I want to thank them for participating, and I want to again thank Mobile Life and thank the board. So, and Eddie, it's your time of the night, my friend.
It's 8 o'clock, and I'd like to move for an adjournment.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
So move. Thank you.